Man, come on in, come on in, come on in. What's good with the family? It's your favorite TikTok uncle, and I am back with another review, man. Today, y'all already know it's the YSL Trial, man. Yesterday, I did a little piece of Woody. Today, I'm gonna do the other piece, and then I'm also react to what he said in court today, man. So y'all already know. Y'all like, share, hit the notification, subscribe, turn the channel up. Y'all know I can't do this shit without y'all, man. So yeah, y'all already know. We gonna get into this, man. We gonna see what Woody was talking about.
Now, do you know an individual Rich who goes by the name Rich Homie Quan?
Who is that?
That boy said, you don't know, you from Atlanta, you don't know who Rich Homie Quan is.
Do you know a person who goes by the name of Rich Homie Quan?
Rich Homie Coin?
Yes.
Or the rapper?
That's what she said the first time, Jack.
He raps.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know
He said, oh, the rapper? She said, he raps. They funny.
him? Have you ever spoken to Rich Homie Quan yourself?
No.
Do you recall the
I
time?
don't recall speaking to him.
Do you recall
Whatever you finna say, I don't recall it.
talking to Detective Gaither and Detective Dennis in this same interview about conversations you had with Rich Homie Quan?
No, I do not recall having a conversation about Rich Homie Coin.
And that Rich Homie Quan, you told Detective Gaither and Detective Dennis that Rich Homie Quan was a part of If Gang.
I don't recall.
Okay. And that you told Detective Gaither and Dennis that Rich Homie Quan felt torn between being with If Gang and being friends with Thug.
Again, I'm just telling the police whatever they convince them that I know what I'm talking about.
Okay. So why would you bring Rich Homie Quan into any of it? Why would that be
Because
necessary?
I'm sorry, go ahead. I didn't hear you.
Why would it be necessary to even talk about Rich Homie Quan
So
to the police?
So when the police question me, my whole motive is to get them off of me. So if they sitting me down, laughing, hee ha ha, like you doing when y'all was up there asking me, and I told you I was lying. This the same thing going on. They sit here. I don't know about them asking me about Rich Homie Coin or nothing. But if they bring up a name, or if they ask me something, I'm going to come up with something that act like I'm in the midst, like I know what's going on. I don't sit around and gospel with people. I don't sit in people's faces. Like I'm out in the streets. I like to be I like to be outside. I'm not sitting around trying to listen to what nobody got to say.
Okay. But when you originally went to the
My question is, why don't they just throw out everything he said? I understand they need his testimony, so I understand why not, but why not just throw this shit out? Obviously, he's not going to cooperate now.
I'm out in the streets. I like to be I like to be outside. I'm not sitting around trying to listen to what nobody got to say.
Okay. But when you originally went to the police, it was to talk about being shot at on the highway. So what would anything about Rich Homie Quan, why would you need to talk about Rich Homie Quan at all?
That's what I'm trying to tell you. I don't have a clue what you're talking about.
Okay. Isn't it true that that you told the detectives that Rich Homie Quan said to you, we the same set. You right here hitting these niggas this and that. So we talk. We the same set. I just can't turn my back on them. Like it ain't that, bro. This is what you're telling him. You supporting these niggas. Bro, I'm telling you, the more you supporting them, the more they gonna come out and do that. If you leave them alone, then everything gonna go away. And this is what you're telling Detective Gaither and Dennis that you said to Rich Homie Quan.
So Gaither was a gang investigator, and what she do is she sit in the neighborhood watch us all day, and she put cases on it. So I know Gaither to sit there, and so when I'm interacting with Gaither, the main thing go through my mind is to convince her that I know what I'm talking about. That was my motive. So be bringing up Rich Homie Coin ain't never been like that in my eyes. So for me to be I'm just trying to make it seem like I know what I'm talking about. What they say they want a big fish, and he's a big rapper, so shit, I'm trying to make up whatever I can come up with. I don't know. I don't remember what I said to no police. It's all stuff I just, out the top of my dome. You ask me a question right now, I go out the top of my dome, and I convince you that I'm telling the truth.
Okay, so
He basically said, look, I'm a good ass liar, you feel me? If you listen to me long enough, you're gonna believe this shit.
And he's a big rapper, so shit, I'm trying to make up whatever I can come up with. I don't know. I don't remember
I'm pretty sure he can't be cussing in there, can he?
what I said to no police. It's all stuff I just, out the top of my dome. You ask me a question right now, I go out the top of my dome, and I convince you that I'm telling the truth.
okay, so in response, you said that Rich Homie Quan asked for your protection, and he said you told detective that he's like, why don't you protect me, bro? We need y'all, bro. I need y'all to protect me. And you said, how the hell are we gonna protect you?
Can you say it again?
Sure. In the same interview with Detective Gaither, you said after you spoke with Rich Homie Quan asked for your protection.
He a millionaire. What he need my protection for?
Why would you tell Detective Gaither and Detective Dennis that?
They the police and they trying to get me.
Okay.
She gonna keep asking, why would you tell them that? I keep telling you I was lying, woman.
Do you recall telling Detective Gaither about Rich Homie Quan's father's barbershop being shot up?
I don't recall nothing I said to no investigators
And
or detective.
he thought that someone by the name of Tay shot up his father's barbershop?
I told you I did it.
No.
Oh,
You told the detectives that Rich.
He said, well, did I tell you I did it? I think he just said he did it. I don't think she caught that.
I don't recall nothing I said to no investigators
And
or detective.
he thought that someone by the name of Tay shot up his father's barbershop?
I told you I did it.
No.
Oh,
You told the detectives that Rich Homie Quan thought that a person named Tay shot up his father's barbershop.
well, I probably did. Ain't no telling.
But you were convinced that it wasn't Tay that shot up the barbershop.
What you mean?
You told Detective Gaither Dennis that you don't think it was Tay that shot up his father's barbershop.
So I told him he did it, or I told him he didn't do it. Which one is it?
You told them that Rich Homie Quan,
She confusing the shit out of him.
but you were convinced that it wasn't Tay that shot up the barbershop.
What you mean?
You told Detective Gaither Dennis that you don't think it was Tay that shot up his father's barbershop.
So I told him he did it, or I told him he didn't do it. Which one is it?
You told them that Rich Homie Quan thought that Tay did it.
Okay, so then I told the police,
Correct.
and then I told him that he didn't do it.
That you did not think he did it.
Objection, Your Honor. Are these questions?
Yes, they are.
He lost.
You can
Do you
tell
need me
by
to
the fact
repeat?
that her voice goes up at the end. Well, it may be that too, but yes, these are questions.
Do you need me to repeat it? Okay. In your interview with Detective Gaither, did you tell Detective Gaither and Detective Dennis that Rich Homie Quan thought an individual by the name of Tay shot up Rich Homie Quan's father's barbershop?
I don't recall.
Okay. In that same interview, did you also tell them that you did not think that Tay shot up the barbershop?
You confusing me.
I'll repeat it one.
That's not that confusing now. Like, she asked, did you tell detective that Quan thought a nigga named Tay shot his shit up? Yes or no? You don't recall? Alright. Did you also tell them that you think Tay didn't do it? Rich Homie Quan think Tay did do it. You saying Tay, you don't think Tay did it. That's what she's saying, but I guess it's confusing him.
One more time and I'll separate. In this interview with Detective Gaither, Did you tell Detective Gaither and Detective Dennis that Rich Homie Quan thought
Overruled, because it's certainly been asked twice or more, but it hasn't clearly been answered. He's sitting there saying right now, I don't know what you're asking me. I'm confused. So I'm going to permit her to try to break it down and ask it again.
so? I'll start.
She kind of can't ask it no better. Like, what the what else she supposed to say?
Over. In this interview with Gaither and Dennis, did you tell Gaither and Dennis that Rich Homie Quan thought that
She's reading it slower. They said change it up. Like, ask him in a different way. Break it down. She just reading it slower. She's not breaking it down at all.
You try to break it down and ask it again.
So I'll start over. In this interview with Gaither and Dennis, did you tell Gaither and Dennis that Rich Homie Quan thought that a person by the name of Tay shot his father at the barbershop?
I don't recall what I told the police,
Okay.
but I don't know.
All right. Now my second question is, in that same interview,
See, you gotta take in that same interview out. You gotta ask him. All right, you don't recall that? Okay. Do you remember telling detective that you don't think Tay did it? That's how you gotta say, bro. Like in that, I think all the extra words confusing him.
did you tell Detective Gaither and Dennis you did not believe that Tay shot up the barbershop?
I don't know. I don't remember what I said to them.
I mean, he can only say that 1,000 times.
And I should ask this, do you know an individual, Tay, who's from Bankhead?
There's some mean Tays in them.
Okay. Do you know a Tay from Bankhead?
A Tay from Bankhead,
Yes.
not out the top.
In this same interview, did you tell Detective Gaither about this individual named Tay from Bankhead?
I don't know a Tay from Bankhead.
Do you know a Tay from the west side of Atlanta?
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Yes.
How
many Tays do you know from the west side of Atlanta?
Too many on the count.
Real talk. It's a million people named Tay, bro. Like, Tay is short for so many names, bro.
From the west side of Atlanta.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Yes.
How many Tays do you know from the west side of Atlanta?
Too many on the count. But not from Bankhead.
It look like she done ran out of questions. Proceed.
Back in January of 2015, did you ever learn about, strike that, do you know someone that goes by the name of Lucci?
Who?
Lucci. A rapper by the name of YSL Lucci.
Why fuck you panning through the court, bro? Go back on Woody.
What about him?
Do you know an individual by the name of YSL Lucci?
I don't know in person.
Okay. Have you ever met this individual?
You said, have I ever met him?
Yes.
Nope.
When you say you don't know him personally, what do you mean?
Because you said, have you ever met? we never shook hands. I never met him.
When you say you don't know him personally, what do you mean? What? I mean, I don't know him personally. Like, what more could he have said? I don't know him. I know the name. I've heard of the name. I've never been around him, never talked. Like, I don't know him personally means everything, bro.
Have you ever met this individual?
You said, have I ever met him?
Yes.
Nope.
When you say you don't know him personally, what do you mean?
Because you said, have you ever met? We never shook hands. I never met him.
Okay. How would you describe knowing YSL Lucci?
He's a rapper.
Okay. Do you know him outside of being a rapper?
No.
Right. In 2015, were you aware of his mother's home being shot at twice? Excuse me. You're shaking your head.
I don't know nothing about him.
Okay. Do you recall in this January interview with Detective Gates and Detective Dennis talking to them about Lucci's mother's house being shot at?
I don't remember. I don't recall.
Do you recall telling Detective Gates and Detective Dennis that people thought that you shot up Lucci's mother's house?
I don't know nothing about it.
Okay. Do you recall in this same interview back in January of 2015 with Gaither and Dennis that you were with Big Boo when Lucci's manager called trying to find out who shot up Lucci's mother's house?
I don't recall.
Okay. And do you recall during this same interview telling Detective Gaither that when the manager called Big Boo, you were present and overheard the conversation?
I don't recall.
And in the same interview, you told Detective Gaither that the manager told Big Boo that he had $20,000 for whoever shot at Lucci's mother's house.
I don't know nothing about it.
Okay. And that you actually took the phone from Big Boo and told them that you had nothing to do with shooting up Lucci's mother's house.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, to hear somebody conversation on the phone, like, you gotta be damn near sitting in their lap.
Hey, do you remember telling the detectives about
I don't
this?
recall.
Did that occur?
I don't know.
You don't know if you were present with Big Boo and took the phone away from him?
I don't know what y'all talking about.
Why would you need to tell Detective Gates and Detective Dennis that if that did not occur?
Cause y'all the
These
police.
things I'm hearing in the street, so I'm trying to convince them to get out for me.
I mean, he can only answer the question so many ways. Like, she just kept asking him the same thing. And it's like, hey. But these tactics, though, you youngsters out there that's, doing all this stuff, this is the type of stuff they do to y'all. They gonna drive you. They gonna ask you the same question 1,000 times to make sure you slip up. They gonna ask you about what you said this day, that day, and all that extra stuff, man. So stay out the way. Don't stay out the way. Don't do crimes, man. Just don't do crimes, man. But yeah, this little part 2, man. We might even do a part 3, and I still gotta react to what he did today, man. But until next time, until next review, peace.